Here we go, we're live. Hey, welcome everybody. Rob here from photosuccess.com. This is a follow-up video on the Sony system. I did a video a couple of years ago, and I just thought I'm going to do a follow-up. It's been about 2.5 years since I switched over to the Sony system, and I've been experiencing nothing but good results with it. So I'll give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let me just tell you quickly how I got into Sony. I bought this, I call it a point and shoot on steroids. It's the RX-10. It's the first version of the RX-10. This got me into the Sony system way back when, almost like as an initial segue to see if I liked the system. And so it got me into it, and we call this the voodoo camera because it does so much. It's got a 24 to 200 2.8 Zeiss lens, really sharp, beautiful little camera. A 1-inch sensor though, so it's kind of small, not really good for high ISO. And I was reading last winter that they got an RX-10 version 3 out. I believe the 4 might be coming out, and it goes from 24 to 600. When I read that, when I heard that, I went and checked out reviews because I thought, nah, you're not going to get good results. That's pushing the capability of any optics, I'm sure. 24 to 600? Now, from what I understand, I don't have one of those cameras, by the way, but I'm totally fascinated by them. I use this for travel, 90%, and a little bit on weddings. I'll use it for candids, when I have candid moments when there's enough light. Because again, the high ISO, it's kind of sucky. But the 24 to 600, the new version, is apparently, from the reviews I read, amazing. I was very skeptical at 600. I think it drops down to about f4 or 5.6 or something like that at 600 at the higher focal lengths. But the results were stunning from what I read in the reviews that I read. So Sony seems to be on to a good thing. They have a new Sony out, which replaces this one here. The A7R is what I've been using as my main studio camera. A7R2, can it be? I'm not sure. So I have an A7S, which is, I'm being videotaped, so I can't show you that one. I use it as my secondary, my backup camera, and for videotaping, stuff like this. My main workhorse is the A7R. It's a 42 megapixel camera. The new replacement model has 2 card slots where you get to put your cards in. And that, although somewhat of a deal for me, is not a deal breaker for me. I've never really cared about that. I have never once had an issue with retrieving information on the cards, and I shoot a lot with this system. You can see there's a lot of wear and tear on the corner, and I'm putting a lot of mileage on this system, and I'm really enjoying it. So it's very good. The results are very good. I used to shoot pro Nikon stuff all the time. Got rid of everything, and I'm totally smitten with the Sony system. That was not a Freudian slip. What I like about it, and I mentioned this in a previous video, is the size. It's lean and mean. Some people criticize the menu. When I bought this camera, and the A7R and the A7S, and my daughter has an A6000, they all have the exact same menu. I love that. I love that about it because I got very familiar, and I like the Sony menus. I've read reviews from other photographers who just criticize it to the end. I'm like, not for me, man. I absolutely love the menus. So it's been a pretty good system. I'm using the same lenses that I originally got back then. I'm recording this video with the 55 1.8. It's one of my most favorite lenses. I've shot large groups with that lens and blown them up to 50, 60 inches. Always nervous because I'm thinking it's going to fall apart. Comes back, stunning results. So that's never an issue. I'm absolutely crazy about that 55 1.8. It's a Zeiss lens. What's it say on there? Do we know? You can shut it out if you want. It's a Zeiss.
FE 1.855.
Yeah, I don't think it's a Sony lens, or it's a Zeiss made for Sony or something like that. So anyways, it's a really good lens. The other one is a 16 to 55 Zeiss, made similar, but it's a zoom, f4. And this one here is my main workhorse too. It's the 85 1.8 Batis. This is the Batis Zeiss lens. Really nice lens. It's very, very sharp. When you shoot wide open, the bokeh, how do you say that? Bokeh? The bouquet, the background, the circles of confusion. Unbelievable, especially when you shoot at 1.8. This has got to be one of the sharpest lenses I have ever shot with. Well, the 55 as well. Well, you know, the zoom as well, the 16 to 35. I will put it up against any other brand any day of the week for sharpness. It'll probably just smoke them all. I know I just offended half of you guys, but that's just all I got to say about that. The one thing I don't like about the system is the sensors get dirty. That's an issue. So, because of the way, when you take the lens off, there's no barrier between you and the sensor. So it'd be nice if Sony came up with a screen that closed, or there's got to be some sort of a screen in there that closes. I know there's no mirror. Obviously, it's mirrorless, but there's got to be some sort of a screen that's going on while the exposure's being controlled. So if there was a way to allow that to close while you're switching lenses, that would be so sweet. When I'm shooting with this one, because the file size is so big, by the way, I shoot 100% JPEG, and I get stunning results. When I'm shooting a wedding, I bring it down to half resolution, which floats around somewhere around 20. So what I've added to this system since I did my last video was I added 2 Sony flashes. This is the Sony what's it called? It's their big one. I can't remember what it's called. Me and model names, we never stick around in my brain. But this is the big Sony F60M. They have 4 flashes. They have a little tiny one, and they got one up from there, which is this one here, which is, I can't remember what it's called either. You'd think I'd have looked this up. There it is. Writing's too small, my eyes are too old. It's this one. Every camera store carries them. This was $400. This was about $900. I picked it up used for $350. I would pick up another one of these in a flash, and I'm hoping to one day. Here's why. I shoot with this on camera, this off camera, and I use the high-speed sync system. I put this inside a softbox or a ring light, which I just recently purchased, or a shoot-through halo light, which this is the reason I have it on this adapter right here. You can see there's a hole to put the umbrella stand through, and it works amazingly well. So this fires this on location 2-3 thousandths of a second. I think it goes even higher. And when you have a lot of light and you need to shoot at 1.8 with this lens in full-blown sun, amazing system. So very, very happy with that. So that's the only thing I've really modified and or changed on this system since I bought it. I do have on my wish list, if you want to buy me one, we would be best friends forever, the Zeiss Batis 135 2.8, which just got released this year. That's on my dream list, and I'm hoping to pick one of those up. They're a couple $1,000s. And the reason I want to get one of those is because it's the same line as this one, the Batis, and it's 2.8, 135 for portraits, for couples, maybe even small families. I can just, the results, yeah. I get excited about good lenses. It's really important to me that we have good quality lenses, so something I'm willing to spend good money on. So that's my update for the Sony system. I'm very happy. I did not pick up the new Sony a7R II. I am not interested in it. I read the reviews. I have no need for it. There's nothing about it that drives me to want to purchase it, so I'm not going to get one at this point in time. As a matter of fact, if I found a good used A7R, which probably there's going to be a glut in the marketplace, or at least more availability, I would pick up one of those, possibly, as the need arises. It's what I did when I was Nikon. I had 2 to 3 bodies. I always had 2 pro models and sort of like a prosumer as backup to the backup to the backup. And so it's good to have backups. So right now I have the A7R and the A7S. That's my primary equipment, but I'm not upgrading the A7R to the newer version at all. I have no interest in it. So thanks.